Two, one. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Amino Biohacks Podcast. Today I've got my good friend Ray Gabriel on. He's a CrossFit competitor, fitness games competitor. I'm going to chat about everything that you need to get started, get yourself up and running in the fitness space. So, Ray, thanks for coming on, mate.
No problem. Nice to be here.
Can you give anybody watching a bit of a background on how you got into kind of CrossFit and
CrossFit, functional fitness.
Yeah, exactly. I did the actual correct terminology.
Because CrossFit's going a bit crazy right now. But basically, I was a sales manager at the time, working in fitness first, and I just finished joining up a guy who just looked like a normal guy, works in an office. He told me that he lived in the same area as me back home. I grew up in Hackney, so just started chatting. Friendly face. Random account about 2 months down the line, I must have been doing deadlifts in the free weights area. And he has a look at me. He sizes me up, looks me up and down. He says, "You do CrossFit, right?" And I started laughing because before this, I thought it was like, I just heard that it was a cult and it was just full of weirdos and blah blah blah. And
what year was this? Sorry, what year was this?
This was in 2018, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Possibly early 2018, maybe late 2017.
Okay.
I had no idea of what CrossFit actually was compared to how I know about it now. I was very ignorant. And I was like, "Nah, mate, what's that? That's CrossFit." I said, "I'm a runner. I just fancy a few heavy deadlifts now and again, or play football, but no, not CrossFit." And he was surprised. So this is a very good friend of mine now. His name is Maurice. And he said, "Come and do a workout with me one day." And I said, "Yeah, sure, man." And I just kind of shrugged it off, egotistical guys in the gym, just talking smack, do a workout with me, blah, blah, blah. I said, "Yeah, sure." So a few weeks down the line, he actually pulled me up. He said, "Oh, what are you doing today?" I said, "Nothing, just finished work." He said, "Come, let's do a workout." I said, "Sure, let's do it." So we must have done the simplest thing. I'm going to say simplest because an elite level CrossFitter will look at this workout and laugh right now. So it was something like 10 deadlifts and 20 burpees maybe every 2 minutes.
I guess like that's lots of people start out, I guess, aren't they? Like
with a simple workout, yeah. Ruins them, like completely.
Simple but done properly.
Yeah, exactly. So I was cocky. I was like, I've run half marathons, blah blah blah. I can do this. Did the workout, ruined me. Like he was looking at me on the floor. I was looking up at him. He was like, "Yeah, this is CrossFit-ish." And I said, "Oh man," I said, "I need more because I hate losing." And I hate losing, and he just literally ripped me to shreds. And that was it. I was hooked from then on. Yeah.
That was like the flick on for the competitive edge in you
exactly.
in functional fitness. Interesting.
That's it.
And so I guess there are a lot of people that are kind of getting into these functional fitness events. I guess it is a friend that somebody challenging you. I've heard this a lot actually. People saying, "Oh, friends, like come and do a workout. Come and do a workout." So I think it seems to be like kind of they've got a referral marketing system set up. So okay, great. So you did your first workout. What happened then? What was the light bulb?
So after that, we set a day. So I was still playing football at this time. But we set a day every week. Every Wednesday evening we used to train without fail. Every Wednesday evening he would give us another new, ridiculous, horrible workout, like movements I've never heard of, like single arm, overhead squats, and toes to bar, handstand push-ups, like things I've never been exposed to at this stage in my fitness career.
Yeah.
Essentially, I was still quite new in the fitness game in terms of personal training and just doing any kind of programming and things like that. So this was all very new to me in that sense. So yeah, we just trained every Wednesday, learned a lot of things from him, learned a hell of a lot from him, to be fair, moving forward, growing as a personal trainer and as an athlete myself. And then we signed up to National Fitness Games. It was me, actually. Again, the competitive spirit came out. I pulled in 2 other mates and Maurice. We said, "Yeah, let's do this 4-team competition. Let's do the open category because we don't know what to expect. We're brand new to it." So we entered that. We ended up winning it, surprisingly. This was our first exposure to the whole thing. So we got there, and we looked quite big essentially, but we didn't know what to expect because I've never forayed into functional fitness. I was a footballer.
Where was this held? Where was the National Fitness Games?
This was the inaugural one. This was in Loughborough, I believe.
Oh, right.
Loughborough. Okay. This was 2018.
Okay.
So yeah. So we were hungry. We just thought, you know what? The training's fun. Now let's compete. So we went there. Guys were sizing us up. We were looking at them because we thought, okay, these guys have probably been doing this for years. So we went there. Competitive spirit. First event died. It was the endurance event, cardio hell. Then we got to the lifting event, which was 3 rep max, right up my street, deadlift, squat.
Yeah, okay.
I think it was shoulder press, and bench. But long story short, we ended up winning it. And they looked at us. And I remember the announcer, I follow him on Instagram. I don't know if it was him or whoever controls the National Fitness Games account. And I posted, oh yeah, great event, National Fitness Games, we won. And the account said, oh, you're going to do the elite competition next year. I was thinking, bloody hell. I was thinking, elite? I didn't even know what open was, you know?
And the parade, trying to rain on the parade.
Yeah, and I feel like we didn't know what to expect for the open, but I think people looked at us and thought, these guys have just entered the open for an easy win. Exactly. These times I had no idea what the open was. I had no idea how hard the elite was. I actually looked at some of the elite workouts that first year and I thought to myself, there's no way I can do this. Like, there's no way I can do this kind of thing so soon in my career in doing functional fitness or competing, because the win came as a surprise, you know? So, but that comment galvanized me. I said to her, you know what, all right, next year I'm going to do the elite competition, you know, and so we did. So yeah, that was the first one. Then after that, just kept on going really. Started looking at more competitions, turf games, which I've done twice, I think. I've done NFG since, 2 more elite competitions in that. Started going into CrossFit. So at this point, I was just still doing just functional fitness.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that branding, you know. So NFG. Yeah, National Fitness Games and Turf Games, they were functional fitness. But I did my first CrossFit competition last year in the summer, individual, which was okay. And then, so new to CrossFit competing essentially. But once you get exposed to it, you realize the level that you need to be at to be good, like to even be terrible, you have to be great, you know? So I've spent this...
I was going to say, is there much crossover between the two? Like, for anybody listening that has never done it, would they?
I would say, in terms of if you've never done it and you're just a fit person, you go to the gym, you like challenging yourself, NFG is a great place to start. A great place because it's competitive, the workouts are challenging. Same with turf games, and there's different categories. So you've got the elite category, you've got the everyday category.
And is it also... So it's also hard, but also simple enough that you can, like, anybody. Anybody that goes to the gym that has 2 legs and is functionally fit can do it, you know? Okay, good.
Where CrossFit separates itself is the movement. So there's a lot more skilled gymnastics movement. So bar muscle ups, high rep gymnastics, pull ups, toes to bar. There's handstand push ups. Then you've got more Olympic lifting in CrossFit as well. Snatches and jerks.
Technical element that you'd say.
More technical to it, yeah. Not just the grunt work, not just the metcons and the fitness.
Yeah.
You know, but that's where CrossFit sets itself apart. And whole different animal, to be honest. But don't get me wrong, turf games is tough. It's just the thing about turf games is if you've got a good engine, great fitness, you're very strong, you'll excel at turf games. But then with CrossFit, you get a smaller guy who is proficient in gymnastics, who might have amazing technique with Olympic lifting, who will be able to compete with a guy who's amazing at the turf games, you know? So it caters to all, depending on where you are, what level you're at, whether you want to take it that seriously, whether you want to just enjoy yourself and push yourself. So, yeah.
Because I guess one of the things that's good about, I guess, from what I've understood about the functional fitness competitions is this idea that it's kind of, it's set up in a way that if you want to just go and have a bit of fun with your mates, you can go and do that. But then, for example, if there's a group that you want to do that, then you can. But then if you want to take it to the next level, then that's also catered for obviously people a bit more like yourself who want to turn up the gas and.
Exactly. Yeah. If you want to make yourself feel it, there's also that option. But yeah, exactly. If you want to if you like going to the gym, you want a social day out with your mates, it's great. There's a lot of like-minded people out there, very friendly community atmosphere, where you can just go, you can work hard, have a few beers after. Turf Games had a really good after party last summer at the Summer Games. Unfortunately, I think due to this current COVID situation, I think this year has been cancelled or postponed. So, but yeah, it's a really good event, really good atmosphere at these things for whatever you want to do, to be fair. So yeah, I would encourage you to, if you're looking to give yourself something to work towards, because we're in the gym sometimes to look good, next holiday, but if you want something that's going to make you keep going, sustainable all year round, it's a good thing to have, and it's social too. It's not just hard work and no play, so.
From what I've understood and from what I've seen with people kind of going through their journey, like from starting out and kind of that you always need new novel things to experience, don't you? Like when you first go to the gym, it's just novel being in there, and you do that for a few years and you make some good changes to your body, say aesthetically. And then I think there's this yearning, isn't there, for like people for like, what's the next step? Like you want to see improvement and progress. Would you agree?
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And I think there's a lot of yo-yo gym goers as well, as you know, being in the fitness industry. So, and that's what me as a personal trainer, as a coach, I would like to eradicate that. I want to make it a lifestyle. So you can have your sweet treat every week. If you're in a calorific deficit, if what you want to do is lose weight. I feel like there's a lot of things out there that encourage 30-day plans and 14-day blitzes and things like that. Instead of, honestly, during this last 3-month period where I was training for the National Fitness Games, I've been enjoying myself, because it's more of what you do, what you will be. So if you're eating healthily 5 days a week and you want to have that pizza on a Saturday, then, go for it. If it's something sustainable over time, you are going to be what you are doing most. So that's the kind of thing you want to kind of push,
100%. For anybody listening, like you do find yourself kind of toing and throwing, like trying to maybe look at redesigning a program in a way that it does become like exactly like Ray says, this idea that it becomes part of your lifestyle, it becomes part of you, it becomes part of what you do consistently. Like it's not on or off, it's just what you do, just like brushing your teeth, I guess, isn't it? Exactly. It's really great advice, mate. So let's delve into like some of the more scientific stuff behind it. So like say we're training for National Fitness Games. So we need, obviously you need an engine. Like how's it set up, and what do you think the key training fitness parameters that you need? Obviously a bit of everything, is it, or what's the?
Essentially, yes. So if you want to take National Fitness Games as an example, we're talking about them a lot. So you got four. Cheeky plug, yeah. You got 4 zones. So you got the strength zone, the power zone, velocity, and endurance. So typically, I was training for the NFG individual competition, which is essentially right up my street, because that would be what I'm best at. I wouldn't call myself a gymnastics specialist or an Olympic lifting specialist, but my background was football and powerlifting. So essentially in the strength zone, it's usually like a 3-rep max lift, squat, bench and dead, or strict press or something or the other. They let you know a bit of time before the games.
Yeah.
Endurance is just endurance.
Yeah.
Probably like a long run, assault bike mashup, ski urge mashup,
Yeah.
And a crazy amount of burpees. So in terms of preparing for it, my split was just trying to hit a conditioning workout and then hit a strength workout. It doesn't have to be too long. If you don't have the time to train twice a day, you could simply just do 1 day conditioning and 1 day strength. Make a plan. That's the most important thing, is to make a plan. So whatever you do, write it down at the beginning of the week and stick to it.
Yeah,
that's what my best advice would be for.
Get that progressive overload, I guess, over time, isn't it? It doesn't matter too much about what you're doing, as long as it's getting harder over time. Well, you're 100%. Getting harder over time. Sorry.
100%. Yeah. because I think there are a lot of programs out there that overcomplicate things, and I think the beauty of fitness is the simplicity of it. You know, if you do a simple progressive overload, even if it's 5 by 5 every week at 2.5 kg, you just make sure you hit your numbers, then you're gonna get stronger. You know, it's science. Your body's gonna adapt. Definitely. You know, and as I like to keep it as simple as possible. It might be boring, you know. As a PT, you need to let your clients buy into what you're saying, because there's a lot of personal trainers out there. I'm not digging anybody out, but there's a lot of coaches and personal trainers out there that just try and make their workout sexy and fun, and you know, just so your client or your prospect doesn't get bored. And that's okay. That's fine. But I mean, if we're talking about performance-based, you can just let them know, listen, it's going to be a bit boring at times. I'm going to keep you motivated, but it will get you where you need to be. And I think that's the battle of fitness, you know? So
I think it's a really interesting point. I've seen this a lot actually in the past. This idea that you jump around different exercises to keep it novel, but then you don't actually end up progressing in any of them. And like, you could take, actually people want to see, like, new is fun, right? But people also are driven by getting better at stuff. So like, even if you did the same exercise, if they're seeing every week that they're improving, I think that within itself is something which motivates people as well. Like, they want to see progress, right?
100%.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. That is this idea. Yeah, you want to have some sexy, fun exercises in there, but also within that, there might be a few core ones which are the pillars of your program and that you stick to. So what's your favorite? What would be your favorite exercise? You said deadlifting at the start. Is that your
deadlifts? Got to be deadlifting. Yeah, I love a heavy deadlift. I used to enjoy running quite a bit. Sprinting. I started getting into a few half marathons towards the middle of 2018, which was quite fun. But yeah, my go-to would be deadlifting. Love the powerlifting stuff. Heavy back squat. You know, not so much with bench, but you know, we got to do what we hate as well. So yeah.
How did you find the running? Did endurance running help you or hinder you with fitness gains?
With my functional fitness?
Yeah.
It's a funny story because before I even ventured into CrossFit or functional fitness, my staple, I was playing football. My staple training was just literally powerlifting, bit of powerlifting and cardio. That's it. Long runs, X amount of time on a cross trainer or on a bike, trying to burn as many calories as possible just to keep my lungs open. Then I went into the half marathon kind of running, did that for a few months. But then straight after that, it was NFG, National Fitness Games. And I used to think to myself, damn, I'm going to be too heavy. I'm not going to be as fit. I'm not going to be as functional as I need to be. And funnily enough, the running helped so much because a lot of people think you can't be strong, but you can't be strong and you can't have a good engine. But there's people that show you can. It's possible. It's about having a good plan and sticking to your numbers, you know. So, and funnily enough, once I got into CrossFit, I joined a CrossFit gym, stopped running completely, stopped running long distances, and I believed I was getting fitter, you know. I believed that I was getting fitter by doing Metcons and things like that. And I was, don't get me wrong, times were improving, strength was going up, lifts were getting bigger. But then when I tried to run after, say, 4 or 5 months, I couldn't run, Simon. My half marathon, so say for my half marathon pace, I was on about 4.5 per kilometer. So I tried to do that on a 5K. I was struggling, it didn't happen, you know. And I saw how far I'd fallen. Ballooned in size because I was getting a lot bigger because of the constant hypertrophy from the CrossFit style training, just couldn't run. So, so got running back into my regime now. And again, the benefits are crazy, you know, and I've still kept the strength and I'm getting the running fitness backs. It's just about trial and error, yeah.
I was going to say, do you do intervals or is it steady state or what do you do? Like,
I do 3. So basically we'll have one 5K, decent pace. I'll have a longer run as well, 10K, 10 to 12K. And then I'll do the interval day as well. So just 3 days a week. Again, just trying to stick to the numbers, stick to the program. Yeah.
I really like it. I like the way you're describing it because it's kind of like you've just keep it simple but consistent.
That's it. That's my go-to.
No, I like it. So we talked about National Fitness Games and functional fitness. So then let's talk about then you move into CrossFit. What was the learning curve there?
Well, the move to CrossFit was significantly just to get better. You know, I needed to be in an environment where I was around fitter people, you know, people that were going to make me better. So I joined 1971 in Stratford, right after National Fitness Games, because I was like, okay, I need to get ready for the elite competition now. So I'm going to go here. So yeah.
How come you joined 1971?
Me and my mate Elvio, who used to work with me at Fitness First, we were just doing a little search of the best gyms around the area, quickest to get to after work. So we were looking at WIT Fitness, we were looking at 1971, we were looking at a few further out, Royal Docks. Why we chose 1971, I don't know. I think Elvio just swayed me. He said, yeah, I went there, I liked it. So I went. Coaches were great. It was a good atmosphere, quite friendly. But it was nice in the fact where I could just go in, I could work out. I didn't have to say too much, you know. I get a fist bump at the end and then I could go home. I loved that aspect of it. And then I also, when I started going more, I loved the aspect that it was very, there's a lot of positive vibes there, you know. Struggling in a workout, you have somebody come over to you, cheer you on. I never experienced that before in the fitness sector. So yeah, I kind of fell in love with it over there, and I just kept going for the year. I went there for a whole year, started doing more competitions, turf games, NFG elite competitions, and yeah, the transition to CrossFit was a smooth one, to be fair. What I did learn most was the other side of it. So you got the Metcon side of it, but then you got the gymnastics, the Olympic lifting, flexibility, how important stretching and mobility is. I was stiff as a bone when I used to play football. These times I was 22, 23. So now I'm almost 30 at the end of this year. I'm as flexible as I've been in my whole life, you know. So a lot of people say, oh, I've heard a lot of people in the city tell me, oh, Ray, I'm 30 next year, mate. Oh, I'm getting old and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, like, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. You're 30. You're just starting, mate. You know, you're starting your journey.
Use it or lose
you know? Yeah. So I think my biggest takeaway from CrossFit is the importance of mobility, if I must say. Not many people might say that, but the importance of mobility is the biggest takeaway I've got from that. It's changed my life in so many ways, to be fair. Yeah.
And so, like, to put that into practice, so for somebody who doesn't do any mobility currently, like, what would be
my advice?
Yeah, exactly.
Start small, I would say. Start small, 10 minutes a day, you know? Just be, again, like I always say, be consistent. If you do a small 10 minutes a day, you'll see the benefits. And that's, to be honest, that's all you need, you know? Even if you start to enjoy it more, then you could take 10 minutes in the morning and you could take 10 minutes in the evening, you know? And then you could get that done. And then once you start seeing the benefits and the changes in your body, the changes in your posture, you know, especially if you sit at a desk as well, if you're just a normal guy that likes going to the gym, and you're sitting at a desk and you're hunched over, you'll see the changes in how you're sitting, things like that. So, yeah, I'll say start small. That'll be my biggest advice, and stay consistent, as always. Is the key, yeah.
I like it. We've got a running theme coming up here. If somebody was like just starting out and they wanted to find out what type of like mobility exercise and stuff to do, are there like YouTube channels you follow? Are there influencers, or where would they learn?
My best thing to say would be speak to somebody, you know?
Really?
Speak to a coach or speak to a personal trainer that specializes in that, because you could go on YouTube and you could watch somebody, but if you don't know what you're doing and why you're doing it and how to do it, you could end up doing yourself more damage than good, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
But I would say the safest thing to do would be speak to someone. A lot of PTs will do a complimentary session. You could ask them to take you through a simple stretch and mobility routine, you know?
It's like invest in your health, invest in
your health, yeah, 100%. You know, I think the best thing to do is face-to-face, hands-on kind of coaching.
I guess when you're starting out as well, I think that's kind of just to help you kind of break the ice type of thing, isn't it? To get you
exactly. Yeah, and they could lead you on a better path. You know, if your first point of call is YouTube and you don't know what you get with YouTube, you can't guarantee you're going to get quality. You know, again, you can't guarantee you're going to get quality if you see someone face to face. But I mean, I would prefer that. You know, speak to somebody that knows what they're doing, ask what their qualifications are. But I mean, it's best when you can see what somebody's doing in person. You can correct form, technique, essentially. So yeah,
that's really good advice. And with the CrossFit, like, so what's the kind of next, like to get to those next stages? Like, I know because obviously there's. You were saying what's going on with CrossFit currently, and what's the like? CrossFit gets a bit of a bad rep. What's your like?
Well, you know what's going on in the world right now with all the protests in America and the UK.
Yeah.
So, long story short, the ex-CEO of CrossFit released some inflammatory statements, if I want to dumb it down a bit, which upset a lot of the community, upset a lot of the people that basically pay his wages. So a lot of CrossFit gyms or boxes started to disaffiliate. So they cancelled their connection to CrossFit, essentially. So that was the situation there. But it seems like the situation is getting better now because they've got a new owner who wants to show that he stands by Black Lives Matter and all kind of inequalities. He wants to stand against all those kind of things that the previous CEO seemed to not have a problem with, you know? So, and then some stories started coming out about how he treated female employees and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So CrossFit gets a bit of a bad rep. So what can people do? Like, obviously, I know it has some really, same as anything, right? There's pros and cons of any sport and any training method, right? Yeah. So, like, how can people limit any? I guess.
You mean bad rep?
Yeah.
Injuries and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I see why people would say that, but I mean, to the functioning athlete at the top level of CrossFit, there's a risk. There's a risk in football. There's a risk in athletics. That's sport. With sport comes risk. That's a given. So I think the bad rep that CrossFit gets is unfair because when you are in the environment, you get coaches who teach you how to move properly. You get coaches how to teach you how to hold proper positions and things like that. So it's not like we're going in there, we're giving you a barbell and say, do 100 clean and jerks without showing you correct technique. You know, you start with a PVC pole. So I believe the bad rep is unfair because football doesn't get a bad rep because people do their ACLs every so often. And injury is just part of the sport. Injury is part of every sport. You get taught correctly how to do it. But I mean, if you're working hard in a workout, you're under fatigue, and something goes, it could happen, you know? But I think now CrossFit and CrossFit coaches have kind of acknowledged the rep that they were getting, and there's a lot more focus on mobility. There's a lot more focus on holistic training and methods and things like that. So yeah,
injuries happen obviously when people are fatigued. Number one, a higher risk of injuries happen when people are fatigued, and it's about if you're new to something, like you don't just go hell for leather, right? Your body has to take time to adapt. And I think a lot of the people that get injuries, they go in and they expect that they're going to be at the CrossFit Games in in 12 weeks time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's one of those because you have to a little bit more of a long-term view at these types of things, don't you? And be smart about the body. The body just doesn't adapt overnight. It's a biological system that takes time to
get there.
Yeah.
Not going to be Matt Fraser overnight, you know. So, that's another thing. I think people do get a bit ahead of themselves, jump straight in head first because it's an exciting sport. Don't get me wrong, it's a very exciting sport. I used to love football for so many years, and I didn't think anything could take that place that it had. And I think it's an exciting sport, and it is easy to get carried away and sucked in. And you want to jump in and do grace, and I want to get a massive PR, clean and jerk, you know. And then that is where the injuries happen. But it's coaches. That's where the coaches come in, you know, get the steady progression going. And you will get there eventually. I think there's no limit to what the human body can do. It just depends how badly you want to do it. And that's the only hindrance. So,
I think that statement is spot on. There is no limit to what the human body can do. It just takes the time to do it. Yeah, exactly. Awesome, mate. No, it's really, really, really good points there. I don't want to take too much more of your time, so we'll look to wrap up in a minute. What's the kind of future for you? What's the next stage? Like, what's going to be happening in the next years? What's the long-term goal, kind of thing?
The pressure cooker goal is to some extent get to the games, whether as a team or as an individual, whether it be through qualifying through the World Wide Open. or I don't know how that looks. That's the pressure cooker goal, you know, at the top of my list of agenda to do. But I mean, on the, I don't want to say realistic, but I'll say the more laid back goal is just push it as far as I can, you know, get as fit as possible. You know, I'm at a stage in my life now where going out and drinking and getting drunk and doing all that crazy stuff, I've passed that stage of my life, luckily. So I'm at a stage where I can focus, I can dedicate my time to just being the best I can possibly be in terms of my fitness. And I think I can do quite remarkable things when I am focused. So in terms of that, I'll just say, just be the best you can be. That's my real goal, you know, just to be as fit as possible, be as strong as possible, get into the gym, enjoy every session, just push the limit as to see where my body can go and wherever that takes me. If it takes me to the games, if it doesn't, I'll be happy, you know, as long as I know that I've stretched myself to as far as I can possibly go. And I think that should be everybody's potential fitness goal, just to see how good you can be, you know, whatever that means for each individual person.
Steve Peters always had this quote on one of the Chimp Paradox books, I think it was, and it was this idea: you can't do better than your best. That
Exactly.
you need to just push it. Like that shouldn't stop you from taking action, because that's normally the response you get, isn't it? Like, oh, well, I'm not going to be that good at it. It's like, no, it's like a case of you want to be the best version of you. You want to be able to, you want to see, like we said earlier, like this idea of continuous improvement. You want to see every day you're getting better, no matter where you started from. Like some people you would have done football from a young age, and you would naturally have kind of built up periods of time and got better at those skills. And it's the same as being an adult, right? You just got to spend the time and be consistent, exactly like Ray said. To make some good progress. And I really appreciate, man. There's some really, really great points in there. We'll probably have to get you on again and chat about. I want to go. There's a few other areas I want to go into with you, which would be.
Yeah.
I always ask everybody when they come on, what books are you reading at the minute, like in terms of education wise, or what sort of stuff are you learning? What's the?
So right now I'm in the midst of doing a few courses in terms of. I was in the middle of doing my CrossFit Level 1 Olympic lifting course. So. Not essentially reading the books, but I'm studying a lot of material, training principles. I'm currently in the midst of doing a nutrition course as well. So I'm just broadening my knowledge about the human body, how we can improve. I'm really interested in how food affects the human body right now, because of a lot of changes I've done to my diet, and I've seen the progress. So yeah, I'm reading a few nutrition books if you want to go through that angle.
Yeah, it'd be good.
We'll as well.
Chat about some nutrition at some point. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'll be good. Once I've got it all under my belt.
Yeah, the best way to know if you've learned it is to teach it, right? So
that's it. Exactly. Yeah.
If people want to find out, like, if, say somebody wants to speak to you, or like, do you have where's the best place to get hold of you? Is it social media?
Social media. Yeah. Social media. Yeah. Fletcher Gabriel. It's my Instagram handle.
Guys, we'll put a link below in the comment sections. If you want to get hold of Ray, you can get hold of him on social media there. Make sure, if you found the content today useful, guys, make sure you hit the like button. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Also hit the subscribe button as well, and the notification bell. So when Ray comes back on again, you'll get a notification. You've been fantastic, mate. Really appreciate your time on this, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Okay. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Simon.
Cheers,
nice to meet you.
Bye.
Take it easy.